Gymgrossisten.com.
Back here. Earlier in the week, you said this was a huge opportunity for you, more so than if you had fought Vanderlei Silva. You beat George Santiago in devastating fashion. What do you feel is next for you, and how are you feeling after this victory?
Well, you know, I'm not really sure what's next for me, to be honest. I think all the top middleweights are matched up at this point. So I think for me, really, first step is just get back in the gym, get back to training, and continue to improve. You know, when you just finish a fight, it's actually one of my favorite times to train because there's no expectations put on you. You can literally just get better at everything. So I'm really pleased with the win. I'm sure people are going to say that George was overrated or something now because he lost, when I'll tell you right now, being the guy that was standing across from him tonight, he's not. His ranking is very just, and he deserves it. And it was just an honor to have the opportunity to fight him, and I'm thankful to the UFC that they gave me the first shot at him.
And a follow-up on that for Dana. What do you see next for Brian, and your thoughts on his performance?
What he said's correct. You know, when Santiago was over in Japan, everybody was talking about how he'd come over here and wipe out the 85-pound division. You know, this guy was a legit guy. He's on his way to becoming a superstar. You know, Chuck came up to me tonight after his fight, and said, you know, when he used to fight in WC, you know, I never thought he'd get to this level. He says, this guy's getting really good. You know, not only, you know, skills are his skills getting better. Everything that comes out of this guy's mouth is a home run. He's on his way to becoming a superstar.
Hi, my questions were actually similar to you, Stan, and that is just, you know, Santiago seemed to slip and fall very early on in the fight, and he seemed to slip a few times. Were you surprised by his performance? Can you tell us what it was like being in the cage with him tonight?
No, I wasn't surprised by his performance. I think, you know, he did what he had to do. He couldn't just lay back in this fight and, you know, have me just chase him around and try and hope for a takedown or a judo throw. I think he came over here knowing that the expectations in the UFC are to put on exciting fights, and he wanted to do that. So he came after me a little bit. I think a lot of his slips were due to leg kicks. He fell twice because I kicked his inside leg out from under him. And, you know, I wasn't surprised by her performance. I think it went as we both expected us to do, and that was a good, exciting fight.
You know, there were lots of chants of USA, USA. How did that make you feel? Did you hear those chants?
You know, I did hear those chants, and obviously it's a career moment for anybody, you know, that could be there in that kind of environment. There was a lot of veterans in the crowd tonight, to include parts of SEAL Team 6, which I don't think any of you guys really know about, but they're actually here tonight. So it was an honor, and more so, they weren't chanting for me. You know, that was across the world in bars and people's houses across America where people were chanting, and that was credit to be bestowed upon the men and women who serve our country.
It was a great way to kick off Memorial Day weekend, for sure. My next question is for you, Rampage, and that's just, you know, we're hearing that you are likely to get the title shot against Jones. Have you been following Rashad and Jones' feud?
No, not at all. I figured anybody that knows Rashad, they're going to have a feud, so I've been doing my own thing.
Do you expect to have any words, any kind of Twitter feuds or anything with Jones, or how do you feel about him?
Well, I don't really know Jones, so, you know, I don't got nothing against him as of yet, just that, you know what I'm saying, he has my belt, because I feel like, I still feel like I didn't lose that belt, you know, I'm still salty about that, so I feel like, she's not. So that's the only thing I got to do with him, but it's not his fault that he got my belt, it's my fault.
Question for Travis Brown. Travis, congratulations, great knockout. Take us through the final moments before you landed that Superman punch.
You know, leading up to that, it was I was just starting to find my rhythm. It's so hard to find somebody that's 6'11" to try to spar with and find range and all that kind of stuff. So it was definitely an adjustment that I had to make during the fight. But one of the things that I noticed is every time we'd separate, he'd try to come in with one of those knees, and I, you know, probably about two combinations before I actually landed, I was thinking about it, and then I heard my corner yell it, and you know, the rest is history. So.
How satisfying was that?
Oh man, it was so great, especially after the Congo fight and coming to that draw. You know, looking forward to this fight and showing people what I can really do in this heavyweight division. And to know that, you know, Mr. Dana White and Joe Silva believed in me to put me out there and fight a guy like Stefan Struve.
Quick one for Roy Nelson. Roy, talk about your performance tonight. I was told that you've been sick. Did that affect you tonight? Just tell us a little bit about your performance.
No, I think the only thing that affected me was Frank was big, so I think the gym time thing kind of screwed me up a little bit. I just need more gym time. No, you know, Frank had a good game plan. He just out wrestled me, so I'm gonna penalize Dan for showing me his, you know, British wrestling. But besides that, it was just, you know, Frank's in the hospital. I'm here, so. It's just one of those things. He just out wrestled me, and he's just a big guy to get off you.
Yeah, my question is for Rampage. You outboxed him and you overpowered him. What do you think that you needed for a KO?
Who's talking to me?
You overpowered him and you outboxed him. What do you think you needed for a KO? Or did you just guess out? Or
I think I needed a hammer to KO.
I mean, he can take a punch?
That guy can take a punch. I hit him with everything but the toilet.
When you mentioned earlier this past week that you would maybe only have a couple of years left in fighting. Is that correct?
Well, I said I don't want to fight past 35. But
Okay.
there's a lot of things that I don't want to do that I do.
All right. Well, is it more important to you to get the belt or big money fights that maybe guys who don't have the belt, maybe marquee fights, super fights, if you would?
Dana, should I be honest? But I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes when I answer questions, then I get a phone call from Dana. And me and him don't talk again for a couple of weeks.
You can be honest.
I can be honest.
Yeah.
Man, I'm all about that money, homie. Come on, man. Hey, honestly, I want to be the highest paid fighter in the world. That's why I come and try to excite everybody all the time and get laugh or try to slam folks, try to knock folks out. That's why I've been trying to give Dana little hints and stuff like, look at me, you know, I'm very marketable. Hate me. That's all.
For Rampage over here,
Where you at?
right here, on your
I can hear you.
left, on your left.
Oh shit. Hell, you won't.
Well, congratulations on the win, first and foremost.
That means a lot coming from you.
Thank you. Earlier this week, you were talking about your entrance music and how you weren't going to use the Pride song, so I was curious to hear what you chose. And I might be looking into it a little too much, but the lyrics were one more road to cross and one more risk to take, and I was wondering if there was any significance to that.
Haven't you guys noticed anything about my entrance songs for my fights? It's always got something to do with my fights. You guys haven't noticed that yet? Y'all don't see that I'm a genius that y'all haven't noticed that yet about my fights? There's more to Rampage than Rampage. Y'all gotta really look in and see what's going on and stuff. Go back and watch my old fights and listen to the walkout songs, and then you'll see like, oh, it is like Machida. We both came from Pride. And I told her where I want to get back to like my Pride status. I try to do the slam that I did in Pride. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's this. And Matt Hammer was like, I ain't fighting for the belt. Dana promised me the belt a long time ago. After I knocked out Vanderlei ugly ass. He ain't here, is he? You know what I'm saying? And so there's one more road to cross, and I crossed this road barely, but I got across. I barely crossed it, but I got across. So you know what I'm saying? That's why that song. So if I fight my next fight, who knows what I'm coming out to? It might be something about breaking bones or something. Who knows? If I fight, you know, Bones Jones, that's his name, right? John Bones Jones.
What's the severity of your hand injury?
What'd you say?
How injured is your hand?
Man, you know, you gotta use lamest terms when we talk to me, homie. Come on, man. Don't be trying to show your education up in here. Come on, dog. Don't do me like that.
The hand. Is
What
it
about
hurt?
it? What you wanna know?
Your hand.
What about it?
How hurt is it?
It's not hurt enough to whoop your ass right now. No, you know, I'm gonna go see the doctor. I'm gonna go see the doctor maybe Tuesday, cause you know. But I see this little finger right here is swollen. Honestly, it is. I know it's bad, but this finger right here is swollen. I gotta check that out. I don't know what was that, but you know, Don House did an excellent job of wrapping my hand. I don't know if you guys understand it, but fighters, you know, saying UFC. I ain't kissing Dana's ass because, you know, fuck Dana. I ain't. But But they do take care of their fighters. They got guys in the back that wrap your hands and stuff like that. So I got good coaching and stuff like that, but everybody don't know how to wrap hands like professional people. You know what I'm saying? These guys in the back take good care of you. And I told him, like, man, my hand messed up. Wrap it good. And he did a great job. A lot of organizations don't do that for you. And that's one thing where you have to respect the UFC because they take care of you even if you get hurt in training and stuff. And you know what I'm saying? And these guys are already trying to send me to the doctor and stuff. You know, I ain't gonna lie to you. Other organizations are like, all right, bye, homie.
Gymgrossisten.com